from Senegal. She come back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy at the general. Half the pity lawyer just to stay out the federal. Big man pull up like a seminal. Big gold chain on me neck, me and several. Make the girl hyper. Half is settle down. Ginseng roof for the second round. Knock out in the car. Rubber man take a gun. Not a little, plenty. My quartz crystals never empty. Duppy no knots that fret me. Bitter like root tea. I'll use whatever works like Bruce Lee. You only need a little like Tootsie. Baby had a biggie, it was juicy. I like it really weird like kooky. I switch my salad every year, it's a new me. You thought you knew me, let me introduce me.
I'm getting sick of bitches have an opinion.
Yo. So, we're gonna get right into it. We're getting right into it. Yeah, let's get right into it. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Canary, and welcome to a unique little program that I'm going to put together for many of you people, especially my friends, and of course, many of my clients. You know, a number of years ago, I put together a little program outside of Born Rich. Born Rich, which is a program I've been doing for a long time with Bob Proctor. And what I did is I took a bit of that program, a part of it, and I kind of captured it to put into a program called Breaking Through Limitations. And what I'm going to share with you all now is breaking through limitations. But I'm going to do it in this way. I'm going to do 6 sessions, and we'll do that over 12 weeks. And each session will be maybe 10 or 12 minutes at the most, with an idea that you must capture in each one of these sessions that I actually do, together with my good friend Andre Urich, who is taping this program and doing all the hard work. I'm doing the easy work. We're hopefully going to get across an idea to you that maybe it'll just make a change in the way you're doing things for the better. But understand this about change and something that I've learned. You know, we've been told for the longest time that if you just think positive, everything is going to work out. And I found out for some people that actually works. For other people, it may not work. I got quite involved in studying something that is starting to enter the mainstream of health, the mainstream which will be business very, very soon. But that many people are going to catch hold of this idea that's called biopsychosocial. You know, those 3 aspects that it takes in treating what is called the human being. Like the body has an impact on the mind, and the mind has an impact on the body. But let me just share these lessons with you. And by the way, one of the things I would like you to have somewhere that we will use in this session, first one would be good, is to have yourself a goal card. You know, where you take an idea and you write it on this here little card here with a piece of plastic to protect it, and you carry it with you everywhere you go. And every single day, you start your day by reading what's on this here goal card. It will definitely have an influence on the way that you live your life. But again, remember, it's one thing to kind of like think it. It's another thing to act on it. And it is totally another thing to make sure that you're around the right people in a social setting to make it really work. See, one of the things that I've learned from this is when I wrote down on this card what I wanted to achieve. At that time in my life, from a biological point of view, I was in great shape. I was physically very, very sound. From a mental point of view, I had, well, I guess you could say, a pretty good idea that I fell in love with of what I wanted to do with my life. In fact, I'm doing that particular idea today. Because you see, when it comes to goal setting, here's what you need to understand about goal setting. In the conscious mind is where we organize something called thought. And as we start and we organize thought, and remember what thought fights every day, it fights your feelings. Your feelings that may say to you, I'd never be able to do that, or why can't things work out for me? That's your feelings, that feedback that you're getting. But you got to learn to discipline what is called your thought. And as you discipline your thought, you develop that image, that picture, that idea of what you would like your life to be about. So on a conscious level, we organize our goal. On what is called a subconscious mind is we experience, we feel what is called that goal, the achievement of that goal. And then on a physical level, what we actually do is we act on that goal. We organize our activities in a way to achieve that goal. See, keep this thing in mind and never ever forget it. Success has a partner. And most of the time what we do is we don't invite the partner into what is called success. And the partner of success is called activity. It's called action. It's called getting ourselves going. It's kind of like my friend here, Andre, who's doing this program here, helping me out so much here. He's from Slovenia. And I haven't told him this, but I've noticed an amazing change in his voice, in how he looks, how he sounds, and how he feels. I've noticed amazing change. And only one thing caused it, which I'm not going to tell you that. But one thing caused that change in his life. So I want you to consider it this way. The one thing that we need if we're going to do anything is we need a picture. And I'm going to show you an example of a picture. Like, just take a look at this and tell me what it is. Tell me what it is you see. I mean, Andre, you can give me a signal there. Should it go up or should it go down? You know, that's the picture.
That's perfect. No, go back.
Take this picture here. What everybody tells me is that it's a skull. Well, the truth is, it's not a skull. What it is a beautiful lady looking into a mirror. This big white thing is the mirror, and down below are all her little perfumes and things like that. Well, now that you've seen that, the next time you'll see exactly the lady in the mirror, no matter how far away this is. It's kind of like, you know, in a number of seminars I would take a newspaper and I'd hold it up the center of the room and I'd say, tell me what the headlines read, and nobody could tell me. And then as I brought it closer where they could all see it, they'd all tell me what the headline was. Now as I took it to the back of the room, they could all read the headline. What was reading the headline? What was reading it is their mind. It wasn't their eyes anymore that was seeing it, because we don't see with our eyes. We see with our mind. That's what we need to understand. We see with our mind. Now think about this for just a moment. We don't see the goals with our eyes. We can see the goal. We can write it down. We can put it on the card. We can read it to ourselves. We can see it. But you have to be able to see the goal with your mind if you want to achieve it. And this picture I'm going to talk about here, this is the way you have to see you and your life, and the pictures, the images, the thoughts that you have to actually make it work. So think about it this way.
I don't know if anybody's watching, but hit these first set of push-ups. Give me a second. Give me a second. from Senegal. She come back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy at the general. Have to pay the lawyer just to stay out the federal. Big man pull up like a senegal. Big gold chain on me neck, me and several. Make the girl hyper. Have to settle down. Ginseng roof for the second round. Knock out in the girl. Rubber man take a gun.
Different level to me. Different level to me.
All right, we back.
Here's a picture of what is called you. And it is the age-old advice inscribed over the Ark of Apollo at Delphi where it said, man, know thyself. Woman, know thyself. Child, know thyself, whatever. But we're talking about that age-old advice of know thyself. Like, who are you? If you had to tell me or answer the question, who are you, what would you tell me? Well, you'd give me your name. Or you may say, and I would say, well, be a little bit more explicit. You may say something like, well, I'm a man, or I'm a woman, or I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a spouse, or whatever. That's not who you are. What you see, and then if I were to ask you, would you say that you are a physical creature? Like you've never gone to a doctor and said body sore or body sick or headache. You said my body, my head, my hand, whatever. So who is it you're talking about? This body is a place that you and I actually live. This is where we live, in this body. When you take a look in a mirror, what you are looking at is a reflection of billions of cells that are just dancing through your whole body, and that makes up this physical self called body. There's something much more behind and within that body. And I'm going to say that you also have what is called an intellect. In other words, we have intellectual powers like, let's say, reason, intuition, memory, will, imagination, and perception. We have these here tools, and these tools make up what? They make up like how we're going to use what is called this tremendous power called mind. So what are we then? If intellect is something I have, body is a place that I live, then who am I? I am a spiritual creature. I have an intellect and I live in a physical body. So what? What do I do now? How do I use that? I put a picture here. We refer to that as the sixth stick person. That was created by a man in San Antonio, California, many, many years ago. And we've been using it ever since, and with great impact on the lives of people. See, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Understanding this picture is worth $1 million financially. In terms of health, it's worth even more. In terms of happiness, it's worth even more, because look at, when you look at what is called your results, I'm going to ask you to take a look at your results in your health, in your happiness, and in your wealth. I'm going to ask you to do that. See, consider this for a moment. When you look at this word called health, you know, the number of people who are healthy today, it seems to be, you know, a great number. And I know just recently, I went through, I believe, 7 doctors in about a 7-month period of doctors trying to find out why I was losing my blood. Well, none of them found out what it is, but they found a way to kind of treat it for me to keep on taking iron pills or something of that nature. Now, I know there's a whole lot more behind that. And hopefully one day we're going to find out a whole lot about it. But let me tell you something very interesting. This one doctor that I went to see, which was the last guy I went to see, I walked into his office and here's what he said to me. He said, John, this is like after we had a conversation of about 10 minutes, he said, you are not sick. I can tell by your energy, the way you walk, the way you talk, everything about you, you are not sick. He's the guy I really wanted to talk with. In fact, when I went back to see my family doctor, he received a letter from this here particular doctor who said this. He said, thanks for sending me John Canary as a patient. And I thought, nobody's ever done that for me before. But it was interesting how he looked at, you know, he was looking at the whole picture here. And that whole picture kind of revealed so much more to me. And now I feel as good as I've ever felt. Interesting, but he could see that. He knew that right away. Wouldn't you say that's the kind of a doctor that you'd want to sit down with? I'm sure. Well, let's see if we can get into this, because I don't want to take too much more of your time. I want you to take this big circle you're looking at and let it represent your mind. And the mind operates in two parts. One is conscious and the other one is subconscious. And this here is the body that you and I live in. Now, on a conscious level, we have these things called sensory factors: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. There are sensory factors that we use to gather information and take it into the conscious mind, where we then can make decisions, where we can then make choices. So what we do as we start to think, what we do is we start to bring thought into our conscious mind. And out of thought, we start to develop a picture, a concept, or an idea on the screen of our conscious mind. It's where we have that God-given ability to make choices, to choose, to accept or to reject, to say yay or nay. We can choose, we can decide on the energy that we're going to allow into our mind. And remember, thought is energy. And we gather that thought on the screen of our conscious mind, and we can look for what we want in this idea. Let's suppose that you've got an idea. You would like to be very successful, whatever that means to you. And we can impregnate that with a positive idea, or we can impregnate that idea with a negative idea. That's whichever one we want to use. We can choose. We can choose this side, or we can choose this side. Now, what happens to that idea once we choose it? Do you know there's a side of us that I referred to earlier as the subconscious mind? And the subconscious mind is in every single fiber of our being. It's everywhere within us, everywhere. And when it comes to the subconscious mind, it has no ability to reject an idea. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish. It does not know the difference in big or small. It doesn't know the difference in little or a whole lot. It doesn't know the difference in good and bad, health, illness. It doesn't know. Your subconscious mind operates in such a way that it just takes the idea that you impress in it, and you impress that idea then sets up something called a feeling, or what is better known as a vibration. And that vibration is going to kind of reach out, like, think about it this way. Your vibration is the message that is being sent and connected with everything of a like nature all around you. Think about this for a moment. Your vibration is the message that we send to this world around us, to everything in this world, and it will travel until it connects with something of a like nature. Your expectation at that point is what starts to bring this vibration, this thing, back into your life. Don't forget that. We hear so much today about the law.
Hold up. I'm gonna run that back, but I'm gonna do these push-ups real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second. Black girl from Senegal, she come back to. All right, we back.
Law of attraction. Well, the law of attraction is simply the subconscious mind and the conscious mind that are in harmony with a particular idea of energy that we consistently send out, and then set up a vibration of attraction to move back towards us into our lives. But remember one part of this that when you heard that may be missing. See, there's people that sit at home when they hear about or read about or study about the law of vibration and attraction, and the first thing they do, they think they just sit in their rocking chair and they just going to kind of like hold a picture in their mind, and that idea is going to become their reality. Sorry. I said that success has a partner, and that partner is called action. It's called activity. And I said earlier that goals has what? Two parts. One is the conscious part where we take thought and organize thought into a picture. That's the goal setting part of our life. Goal achieving is where we take and we organize a set of actions that we act on, and then we bring it back to see whether or not it's getting us anywhere, and then we can change the activity, improve the activity, whatever we want to do. But it's action and reaction are equal and opposite. Action is the picture we develop on the screen of our mind, and action is how we organize those activities on a physical level to put into practice in our lives every day. So let's think about this. What is it you want? What is the goal you would like to set? Do you want to send me like an email and I'll send you the goal card, but send me an email to jk@johncanary.com. That's JK, like junior kindergarten, @johncanary.com. So think about this for a minute now. I know what it is that I want. I'm going to get focused on this picture. And remember this, for anything to actually come into your life, the idea to manifest in your life, it must be focused, it must be dedicated, and it must be disciplined. So when you use those three things, focused, dedicated, disciplined, that idea is going to receive the energy and the direction that is necessary to manifest, to become a reality in your life. So remember, the subconscious has no ability to reject an idea, none. It does not distinguish in big or small, none of that. Doesn't matter what religion, what race, what creed, doesn't matter. Although a lot of people think so, but it doesn't. So as I start to kind of continue to act on that idea, I continue to hold true to that idea. I hold that picture, that image, and I link these two things up, action and thought, and I link them together. In a short period of time, you're going to see some things begin to shift just a little bit. The kind of people that may come into your life, the kind of ideas that start to pop into your mind, everything begins to change for that idea to become, no matter what religion, what race, what creed, doesn't matter, to manifest, to become a reality in your life. So remember, the subconscious has no ability to reject an idea, none. It does not distinguish in big or small, none of that. Doesn't matter what religion, what race, what creed, doesn't matter. Although a lot of people think so, but it doesn't. So as I start to kind of continue to act on that idea, I continue to hold true to that idea. I hold that picture, that image, and I link these two things up, action and thought, and I link them together. In a short period of time, you're going to see some things begin to shift just a little bit. The kind of people that may come into your life, the kind of ideas that start to pop into your mind, everything begins to change for that idea to become your reality. So remember this. Mr. Earl Nightingale must have told me this every single day for a long time. I would turn on this program into my car. Matter of fact, sorry to do this, but let me show you. This here is a set of tapes that I made based on Mr. Nightingale and everything that he taught me. These are tapes. Some people look at this and say, what the hell is that? Yeah, it's way back. Well, this is a program I made called Decide, Believe, and Begin. I won't make that anymore. I'll make it in CDs and MP3s, but not that one. But think about this for a moment. I hear him say this every day, that attitude, he would say, is our thoughts, is our feelings, and our actions. And the thoughts, feelings, and actions, he said, that we kind of express, that we kind of send out into that world that we live in, are the only things that can return to visit upon us in the form of thoughts, feelings, and actions. However you send that out is exactly how it will be returned. So put this to work. Pick a goal of something you're going to work on just for the next 2 weeks, and we will give you another message approximately 2 weeks from now. You watch for it, you will see it. And over the course of the 12 weeks, I guarantee you're going to see a neat change. In fact, we may do after the third program, maybe we'll take a little bit more space, maybe even take a month and give you some action ideas to carry out for that month and then come back in for the last 3 right after that. So take some time, sit down with a little note.
All right, cool. Cool, we'll keep it moving. Keep it moving. What else did I say? John Canary? If anybody's passing out. If anybody's passing by, shout out to you, whatever. This ain't no entertaining show.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Canary, and welcome to Breaking Through Limitations. Today, we're going to have a specific lesson with regard to breaking through limitations, to breaking through those barriers, breaking through those limits, overcoming, some of the things that just get in the way of us getting that clear order of thought, to get that clarity to do what we want to do. And today, I'm going to focus a little bit on self-sabotage, because I feel there are more people who spend more time figuring out why they can't do something rather than trying to figure out why they can do something, because you're doing the same thing, you're just directing it in another way. But I want you to think about something that I do every day, pretty well every day of my life. And I take and I put a big R on a screen, a whiteboard, green board.
Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta check a message. Ain't nobody in here anyway, so. Hold on. What's the nigga? What is this? Why the fuck is this guy sending me this? This is just a video of this fucking fight. Why the fuck are you sending me this? The fuck? Why the fuck would you just send me the video of this fucking fight, man? Wait, oh. That's why I'm gonna delete this fucking shit. This phone gotta go. This shit has no fucking function except for distracting you from doing something fucking worthwhile.
Board, whatever. And I ask everybody to take that R and let it represent the single most important thing to each and every one of us every day. I'm talking about here now the word results. And when I talk about results, I'm talking about results in your health, in your happiness, and let's say in our wealth. But at the same time, let's say in our personal life, our family life, and in our business life. And from time to time, we kind of just mix that thing up just a little bit. And we start putting limits on ourselves because we're not getting the results. So obviously there must be a limit involved somewhere. But think about it this way. The laws of life are very simple if we would study them, if we'd really work with these here laws, these dynamic laws of life. And one of those laws of life state that it's create or it's disintegrate. In other words, you and I, we can't stand still even if we wanted to. I remember something by Mr. Earl Nightingale. Mr. Nightingale said one time, we stand on this here 50-yard line of life, afraid to go for the goal because we might fail. And then we don't want to step too far back because, again, we may fail. Kind of a crazy way to think, isn't it? But I want you to consider something. I believe that we spend more time figuring out why we can't do something rather than why we can do something. And I refer to that as self-sabotage. We spend so much time, of why we can't. We spend so much time even finding ways on why we can't. We're going to ask you to
Do more push-ups. Hold on. daddy when I send a girl, daddy at the general. Have to. Alright, we good.
To work with me here just a little bit. I'm not going to be any more than maybe 7 or 8 minutes, something like that. But I want you to think about this. The very first saboteur, if you could name it that way. I know my wife years ago, being French, used to say saboteur instead of sabotage, same word. But think about this. That single villain that seems to get in our way. Like we're so capable otherwise, but we allow these here limits, these villains, these things to control or to get involved in our thinking. And that first one is called procrastination. Procrastination is the very first villain. That very thing that seems to grab our thinking and pull it away from us as though we had no control. The second thing we need to understand and pay some attention to is this word. It's called blaming. Blaming, where we take no responsibility whatsoever. Now consider this. What is blaming? It's pointing towards something else or someone else as to why we're not doing something. Why don't we do it anyway and see if anything changes? And number three is called criticism. You see, we move from blaming to criticism. You know, we're blaming, but we're also like criticizing what other people do or how lucky they are or they're never going to make it or whatever. It's almost as though we're hoping if they don't make it, it justifies why I don't. And number four is called envy. Envy. And yet, if you put all of these things really together, in other words, if we look at it this way for just a moment, we have a choice here to do something. And the choice that I'm referring to is we can figure out how we can do something, or we can spend our time figuring out how we can't do something, because there's good and bad in absolutely everything. Now, there's something that I kind of like work on a bit with, you know, some people that I really, truly enjoy working with. And it's called the 5 Ps. Yeah. And that 1 P is called proper. Now, listen to this, these 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation, prevents poor performance. Now think about that for a moment. Because on a conscious level, you and I can take what are called these little clouds here, which are known as thoughts. And we take these little clouds and we bring them into our consciousness or into our conscious mind, where we can build an idea, whatever that idea might be, where we can build a goal, where we can build like the kind of business we want to build, the kind of relationship we want to build, be able to build anything. You take that idea, and the moment you start to work with it, you're going to get all kinds of feedback from your conditioned mind. Yes, the subconscious mind is your conditioned mind. And what it's doing is it's kind of rejecting the new idea that you're trying to build. Now, you've got to understand something. You've got to understand that you've been blessed and been given, just like I have or any of us have, but we've been blessed. We've been blessed with the power to build an image, the power to choose, the power to think, but we've been given and blessed with that power. We've also been blessed with the power to act. We can act on anything that we choose. Action. But I want you to think about this for just a moment. We can build the picture, and we can look for what's good about that picture, what's wrong with that picture. But as we build that picture, as we go to impress it into the subconscious mind, the conditioned mind, where all kinds of information like junk has been planted in our mind by whomever or whatever. But what we can do is we can keep giving energy to our idea. We can keep giving energy to preparation. We can keep giving energy to how we can do something. Proper preparation. We can do that. And if we keep doing that, we're eventually going to take that idea and transfer it to our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, remember, it has no ability to reject an idea, but we got to get by the conditioning first. We got to get by that conditioned mind. See, the conditioned mind, like you may have set a goal to earn a substantial amount of money, an income goal. But the conditioned mind has been told you will never earn that kind of money. Nobody in your family has. All your friends, none of them have. It's an amazing, amazing situation that we find ourselves in. So we can think and we can act. And if we would do that, if you'd start every single day, like I am working on programs now for 5 or 6 minutes each. It's kind of like morning coffee with John. That's what we're calling it. Morning coffee with John. Or you can click on, like my good buddy Andrej Juric in Slovenia. He'll have programs prepared there where you go on my website, click on that website, and I'll become a hot 5 or 6 minute idea to kind of get you going, like while you're having your coffee. And we're going to do that for you, and it'll be available to you. There'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 of those messages that you can grab hold of. And only have to listen 5 or 6 minutes, because I know some of you get tired of me, so I reduced it down to 5 or 6 minutes with some of the best ideas that I have learned, that I have borrowed, that I have stolen from many great thinkers over my lifetime. And I found out that's how they got it, the same way. Okay, so let's just do this once more, okay? If we look at, you know, the self-saboteurs, these things. The self-saboteurs, number one, what is it? Come on, procrastination. What's number two? Number two is blaming. Number three is criticism. And number four is envy. And then we kind of come back over to our stick person here, where we can begin to change everything. See, remember, everything we've learned in our life is sitting in our subconscious mind. And we start to build an idea, and we wonder why, when we're trying to impress that idea, it's not working. No, it's not that the idea isn't working. You got to understand, there's a side of you that's called the conditioned mind. That part of you that's been conditioned on everything that you know and everything that you do. Well, what happens with that is we've got to break through the conditioning, get emotionally involved in an idea. That idea now starts to take place or resonance in the subconscious mind. And once that happens, the results begin to appear. But understand this, please understand this. You've been blessed with two powers. One is the power to think or to choose, or the power to act. Now, here's where it starts to break down for a lot of people. We wonder why, you know, I'm thinking about why I can, and I kind of say no to the circumstance. Why do you say anything to the circumstance? Don't give the circumstance any energy. There's a great book written, it's called As a Man Thinketh. And in that book, he says, you will be what you will to be. Let failure find its false content in that poor word environment. Think about that, in that poor word environment. Don't allow circumstance to be a part of your thinking. I think it was someone once said, circumstance said, people are always blaming their circumstance. The people who get on in this world, they look for the circumstance they want. If they can't find it, then they make it. Then they make it. Think about that for a moment. If they can't find it, then they go ahead and they make it. Don't allow circumstance to be a part of your thinking. I think it was someone once said, circumstance said, people are always blaming their circumstance. The people who get on in this world, they look for the circumstance they want. If they can't find it, then they make it. Then they make it. Think about that for a moment. If they can't find it, then they go ahead and they make it. See, I think the worst thing that can happen is that we have a thing. I think it was someone once said, circumstance said, people are always blaming their circumstance. The people who get on in this world, they look for the circumstance they want. If they can't find it, then they make it. Then they make it. Think about that for a moment. If they can't find it, then they go ahead and they make it. See, I think the worst thing that can happen is that we have a set of circumstance that's not going to make a difference in our lives. So make a circumstance that will create the situation you want in your life. So play this thing over and over again every chance you get. For a lot of people, we wonder why, you know, I'm thinking about why I can, and I kind of say no to the circumstance. Why do you say anything to the circumstance? Don't give the circumstance any energy. There's a great book written, it's called As a Man Thinketh. And in that book, he says, you will be what you will to be. Let failure find its false content in that poor word environment. Think about that, in that poor word environment. Don't allow circumstance to be a part of your thinking. I think it was someone once said, circumstance said, people are always blaming their circumstance. The people who get on in this world, they look for the circumstance they want. If they can't find it, then they make it. Then they make it. Think about that for a moment. If they can't find it, then they go ahead and they make it. See, I think the worst thing that can happen is that we have a set of circumstance that's not going to make a difference in our lives. So make a circumstance that will create the situation you want in your life. So play this thing over and over again every chance you get until you're actually taking the idea. You're just gathering some thoughts, creating an idea, acting on that idea, and continuing giving energy to your idea and to your action. And very soon, it's going to enter to your subconscious mind, where it will start to express itself in such an easy manner to your world. So this is John Canary, and I look forward to seeing you in our next message. Thank you.
Yo, hold up. I just want to add this to my Discord. Boom. Yeah, I'll set that there for the time being. Yo, hit the like button. Anybody who's hanging out watching this shit, we're going over some core concepts that we need. Because along with the, along with the acquisition of new information, we need to acquire new ways to absorb this information or implement this information. You feel me? But it's very interesting how there's how do you say, 2 ways to skin a cat or whatever. If you can't figure out how to do something, you can just start doing it and that will figure out how to do it. So it shows like the non-linear aspect of time. You feel me? That you can start at the end. You can start at the end. All right. Let's see.
How many learned to drive with a stick shift? Do you remember what it was like? Now, isn't it true that consciously you had all the knowledge to drive that car? Yes, no? And you get in there, and you're anything like me, you had a person sitting beside you. And they said, now here's what I want you to do. They're giving you instructions. They said, I want you to put the foot in the clutch, put the other one in the brake. Hold both hands in the wheel. Then reach over, make sure you pull this thing up, put it down there in the first, reach over and start the car. Now, as soon as you got to start it, make sure you keep one foot in the clutch, the other one in the brake. Now, as soon as you're all ready, I want you to let your foot off the clutch just a little bit. As soon as you do, take foot off, brake same time, give it a little bit of gas. Get it going about 10, 15 miles an hour. Now, keep in mind, now what you got to do, as soon as you get it going 10, 15 miles an hour, the engine starts to roar. So what do? Take foot off the gas, put the one in the clutch, put it up there in a second. Take foot off the clutch again, put it back in the gas. Get it going to about 20, 25. Now, be careful now. You don't want to go too far because the engine will start to roar again. You burn the engine out. So I'm sure as soon as you do that, you put your foot in the clutch again. Take foot off the gas, though, at the same time, and you put it down there in the third, take it back off the clutch again, put it back in the gas, you get it going. You got it? Got it. Now, they said, now, just before you pull out, I want you to be careful now. I want you to take one hand, put it over here behind me, keep the other one on the wheel, keep one in the clutch, keep the other one in the brake. Now, they said, as soon as you relax, take this hand back here and take it, grab it down there where it was in third, put it up there into first, put your hand back here. Now, you got it back up there in reverse. Now, keep your hand in the wheel there, keep the other one in the clutch, keep the foot in the brake, and then start to let it off the clutch just a little bit. As soon as you do, put it in the gas. But just before you do that, make sure you look this way. No cars coming that way, no kids in front. Make sure you look this way. Somebody may be walking behind the car. Now, as you got this here thing going, you're standing like this. What I really want you to do now, as soon as you back that up a little bit, make sure you put your foot back in brake, but make sure you put it back in the clutch again, and put your hand back over, pull it down in the first. As soon as you do that, take it off the clutch, off the brake, then get it going in the gas, go through the same procedure, hit the clutch, put it back up there in the second, take it off the clutch, put it back in the gas, get it going again, and take it off what? Off the gas, put it back in the clutch, put it down in the third, back in the gas, and away you go. You got it? Yeah. Now, what actually happened is you had all the knowledge to drive the car. But you know what's interesting? You were not yet in harmony with your idea. But you started to do it not once, but over and over and over again, and as Bob pointed out yesterday, until the idea became fixed. You developed a sufficient number of brain cells to do it. Now think about this. You have got in mind something that we call a goal. Now where you are today or where your thoughts have brought you, I don't mean sitting in this room. But I mean that everything that you have brought in your life, everything that you have to this point in time is a result, nothing more, of the state of vibration you were in mentally, emotionally, and physically.
What is this bullshit? No, hold on. I got my sliding glass door open and what the fuck is this stuff? Yo, huh. That's fucking drums. Who's playing? Hold on, give me a second. Give me 1 second, dog. Yo. My bad. Hit the like button, yo. A whole fucking marching band in the park in front of my crib. Like, yeah. I don't know if you can still hear that on the mic. Nobody's saying anything in the chat, so it is what it is. This show's for me. This show's for me. Desire, what does it mean? Let's go here. Positive thinking. Secret behind merch. See, where should we go next? Investors Group Seminar. Making Implementation Seminar. And let's go, cause I kind of want just like, I want like quick quips. Quips, is that what they call them? Quips, not quiz, not queefs. Quips, or whatever. There's nothing more powerful than habit. Breaking through desire, expectation, action. Yeah, let's go here.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Canary. And I'm very happy to be delivering a message today that I think is so very, very important. You know, there are 3 words that if we could implement them in our lives on a daily basis, these 3 words. And one of those words, I can promise you, you all have and you all understand. And what it is, it's a desire to be more, a desire to do more, and a desire to literally have more in your life, whether it be health, whether it be happiness, or whether it be wealth, or all 3. And if you look at this here word desire, it is something within you that is trying to become more and more through you. Now, there's an interesting word that comes up here that will either prevent us from experiencing what it is we desire, or it's going to kind of help us get to what it is we really desire. And that word is known as expectation. The question is, do you really expect what it is that you desire? Do you have that, like, I can do this kind of attitude? You got to be proactive when it comes to your expectations, that you not only believe you can do it, but you see yourself doing it. And then, of course, that all important word that all of us can relate to is where our power really comes from. You see, when we link desire with expectation, when we actually see the desire as completed, as fulfilled in our imagination, that leaves us with just now one step to complete that creative process, or what many people refer to as the law of attraction. And that step is the power of action. See, remember, power is your ability to act. And if we take action, we give it substance with our action. We have desire, which is like that feeling we want to do more, be more, have more. That's what we want to do. And then we lock into the expectation of seeing the completion of what it is we desire. Remember the word desire, D-A-S-I-R-E, it means to give birth to. So we lock into our imagination a picture of that desire. And then we take action. We do what we can do with what we know today, and that continues to expand and get better. And now we have those three words put together, that holy trinity there, where we are actually going to manifest and enjoy what it is we really desire. So this is John Canary with Think About This Today. Really think about this one today. Act on it for the next week and see what kind of a result that you come up with by just demonstrating to yourself those three magic words. I'll see you in our next message. Thank you.
Definitely very practical. It seems like you would think this is like common knowledge, and even somebody who has like some type of ego problem, or maybe you're just an ascendant master or something like that. You're just like, yeah, this is common. You know, you just gotta think about it and do it and get things done. You feel me? You get the information and then you do it, just like that. You know. But not really. If people weren't here for the previous little thing he was doing in front of the crowd about learning how to drive a manual car. You had all the information to drive that car, but that shit sounds like fucking rocket science. You know what I'm saying? And it's not in harmony with your subconscious, so you cannot perform these actions seamlessly yet. You know what I'm saying? But at one point, you start performing this highly complex task seamlessly. You feel me? And you probably can't even pinpoint the moment. You feel me? I don't think anybody can. No. Who can pinpoint the moment that they went from shitty to good? When you went from incapable to capable. Who can pinpoint that moment, that turning point? You feel me? You really can't. So you can't be looking for that. You just have to do until it's done. So let's go here with it.
Listen, life is beautiful.
You can take anything that I'm going to say, or Bob, and you can reject it. You can do that. Or you can take the information.
Hold on, I don't want to miss any of this. Give me a second to hit these push-ups real quick. Give me a second.
Black girl from Senegal. She come back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy at the general. Have to pay the lawyer just to stay out the federal.
Yo. Alright, we back.
And you can accept it, you can do that. This. You can take anything that I'm going to say, or Bob, and you can reject it, you can do that. Or you can take the information and you can accept it, you can do that. Or you can just neglect it. And I said, don't accept, don't reject, and don't neglect what you hear. But I mentioned that only a fool would not take an idea, kick that idea around to see if it would change, alter, and or improve the end result for a happier, healthier, more productive life. You see, if there was one thing that I ever wanted to get across to my kids or to you, is that our self-image, it sets the boundaries of performance in your life and in mine. We cannot outperform our self-image. We will never do it. Whether it's weight, and Bob will go over this in detail, whether it's income, whether it's relationships, no matter what it happens to be, our image is the governor that sets the boundaries of performance in each and every area of our life. Our image. Now think about this. I want you to imagine for a moment, I want you to go way back to when Socrates was teaching. Now Socrates taught much, but he wrote very little. Plato took what he learned from Socrates and he put it into words, and we were all the benefactors of the work of Socrates. So Socrates decided that he was going to try to use an analogy to teach people something about this governor, about this concept, about this belief system, this idea, this image of self, and how it controls all the performance in each person's life. And this is the way he was able to do it. He said, I want you to imagine all these prisoners in an underground den. He said they have been there since birth, and they're all lined up beside one another. He said they're chained at the neck, they're chained at the feet, and they're chained at the hands to one another, and they all stand in an even line. They can sit, they can stand, they can turn their head each way, they can take a step this way and a step that way, but that is the extent of it. Which is symbolic to mean that many of us stand on what is called this 50-yard line of life, afraid to go for the goal because we might miss. We don't want to go too far back because we might fail. We don't seem to understand that it's got something to do with the concept or the image we hold of us. He said, now, I want you to imagine that they have never ever laid eyes on human life because the cave is dark, they cannot see one another. Now, he said, in front of all of them, there is a big wall from which shadows are moving back and forth. And he said, from these shadows, there are voices coming as though they're coming right from the shadows directly to the prisoners in this underground den. Are you with me? Now he said, the shadows and the voices are coming from one area of the den. Way back behind these prisoners, there are people walking back and forth, unaware of the prisoners further in the den. And he said what they are people coming in from the ocean, going up through a cave, carrying treasures from their ships that they took at sea. And as they walk by a flaming fire, and as they do, their shadows bounce off the wall of the den and come back at the prisoners who are staring at the wall. And as they speak, their voices travel and they echo from the wall, so it would appear that the voices and shadows on the wall of the den to the prisoners is real. They have no knowledge of what's going on at the back. Now I want you to imagine that one day the chains break away from the one prisoner standing at the end of this line. I want you to picture that. He's standing here and the shackles fall from the prisoner. As they fall from him, he looks and he sees a light coming down from the surface of the den, coming out in the shape of an elbow directly in the area he is looking. Now, since all of us, you and I, since all of us are motivated to move in the direction of the light, in other words, every single person in this room is genetically structured to grow, to move in the direction of a light. You put a potato in a cellar, and that potato will grow in the direction of any kind of light coming through to it. Well, this prisoner spots the light and begins to move in that direction. Don't you think that as he begins to move, there would be some apprehension of some kind? And as he gets close to the light, he puts his head into that elbow and he looks up and he experiences the entire spectrum of light to the point it almost blinds him. It's overwhelming. But again, being genetically structured to continue to move in the direction of the light, he begins to climb. And don't you think as he begins to climb, he's going to feel some fear? Yes. And as he reaches the surface, he looks and he sees the sky, some clouds, the trees, and all that nature has to offer. Don't you think he would now be in a state of awe? Yes. Do you think now that what he once thought was real is not necessarily real, that maybe there was something beyond the light? That in other words, the way he was living and the results that he was getting or that he has, that suddenly now he realizes there is something more he could possibly do? Yes. And as he begins to walk around, he comes to a little lake. And he looks in and he sees an image, and he begins to run from the image. Wasn't he looking at an image of self? And as he backtracks, he stands at the den and he can hear the prisoners yell, "Return, we'll offer you rewards to tell us what you found beyond the den." Do you think he'd care for such honors? And if he did go down and tell them what he found, do you think they would believe him? And if he did go back down and he walked up, wouldn't they say, "Ah, you see, up he went, down he came. Isn't it better not to ascend at all?" You see, the real danger is you will never get from the underground den or escape from a prison unless you recognize you're in one. And many of us are like prisoners living in an underground den. And the moment that we begin to attempt to even see ourselves as we would rather, or as we could, or as we want to be, keep in mind we are forever going to be pulled, grabbed, held onto as a hostage by the prisoners in the underground den.
Facts. Facts. I'm letting this rock because this shit needs to rock. Hit the like button, yo. And it's just like, you know, my own personal examples right now, moving towards I am moving within and further into a higher understanding and advancement of trading the financial markets and whatnot. So if you so the comparison of the prisoners that's looking at this wall has no idea of like the possibility, i.e. what I speak about, infinite possibility. I go down these motherfuckers, even somebody who you would think is doing well. Like say they're making like 80 racks a year or something like that. They're making 80 racks a year, right? And I'm like, but you know, that's just enough to have trinkets. You feel me? Unless you live very modestly or whatever. But to the so-called American standard, that's just enough to have trinkets. You feel me? You got this car, you got this place, you drive to this other place to allow you to maintain having the car in the place that you're barely in because you're sleeping for this $80,000, right? And then you try to tell this person, yo, there's a way. Yo, all we got to do is lock in. All we have to do is lock in. Stay 10 toes down with this shit. Be disciplined, relentless. And we have the opportunity to make that in a day. In a day. You stay truly locked in. We have the opportunity to do this in one trade. You feel me? We can do what you're breaking your back for. We could do that what you're destroying yourself mentally for and all that shit. We can do that in one trade. Not only will they not not only will they not believe you, they won't even believe what you've seen. You'd be like, yo, I've seen it. I've seen the results. You just got to stay down. You feel me? I know it's true. They're like, nah, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. And you can put that with whatever endeavor you have going on. You feel me? Leave them motherfuckers chained down there in the cave underground. Leave them niggas chained to the fucking wall. You feel me? And that's being merciful. Me, I would like to pour concrete in the fucking hole. Let's go.
By the prisoners in an underground den.
Hey, it's Jay Shetty.
We're already at the end of this shit. All right. No, you know, everybody's heard of Bob Proctor. He might be the OG of this guy, but I kind of like this guy. I kind of like this guy's approach a little bit more. John Canary. Hold on. I want this whole old school lecture right here. I don't know where I can find that joint at. Hold on, let's see if I can get that. Be present, the time is now. Yeah, let's look. 90 seconds to prosperity. Hey, this is a couple dope ones. Let rock. Let's let these rock right here. Hold on. There's a couple dope ones right here. Power of the little things. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Buddy, I'm John Canary with Action Ideas. You know, I have an idea that I'd like to share with you, and it's from my book that I wrote many years ago. It's called Breaking Through Limitations. And the first page of that book always excites me because it starts off with, this world would stop if it were run by people who said it can't be done. Do you know how many people may be watching this today, or how many people on this planet are living with an idea of something they'd love to do, but they don't believe they can do it? And they ask the advice of people who have never done anything that they can actually, whether they can do it or not. And I thought something from the first page of my book, that in 1899, Charles Duell was the commissioner of the United States Patents Office. And he wrote a letter of resignation to the President of the United States. And in that letter, he said we should close the Patents Office because everything that will be invented, it has already been invented. We've reached the end. We can't go any further. That was in 1899. In 1923, a man by the name of Robert Millikan, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for physics, he said we will never tap the power of the atom. Can you imagine trying to sell that idea to Albert Einstein? And something real funny in 1921. In 1921, a great ball player, a pitcher with the Washington Senators at that time, his name was Tris Speaker, Hall of Famer. And he said that Babe Ruth, who just gave up pitching every day to be a full-time player every day, just made a very serious mistake. We would never have heard about the great home run hitter if that had happened, most likely. And then take Gates, Mr. Gates, Bill Gates. Do you know, in his first 12 years of business, from the day he started, he became one of the world's wealthiest people. Now, probably the most wealthy person on the planet, the wealthiest person on the planet. And a young lady that I met a number of years ago in Chicago, I was sitting at a table with a man by the name of Milt Campbell. Milt Campbell, of course, was one of the world's great athletes, won the decathlon in 1956 in Australia. And sitting beside him was Wilma Rudolph, who, by the way, was a young lady with a club foot. And yet, she went to the Olympics and won a gold medal with a club foot. You know, every single day. Maybe it could be you that's being held back today because somebody that you think ought to know better has told you that maybe you can't make your enterprise or the idea or the concept you have to have it really work in your life. You know, I think that it may be just a little thing, but I really believe that it's out of a power of little things that we create some of the world's greatest and biggest things. So I want you to think about, maybe play this message, maybe play it once more. And just think of the idea that this world would stop if it were run by people who said it can't be done. You don't want to take a look back like 20 years from now and say, if only I woulda, if only I coulda, if only I shoulda. You don't want to really find yourself in that particular vibration. Make a decision today. Take and write out a full page on what this idea you have looks like if it were to become a reality. And the reality is going to be totally up to you and your choice of thoughts. Keep this in mind. There's a law of life that says there's good and bad in everything. It's called the law of polarity. You can focus on and give energy to why it won't work, or you can focus on and give it energy to why it will work. That choice is strictly up to you. And if you stick with that choice for just a period of time, I guarantee you, an energy starts to form in the way of a result. Feedback starts from different people. All kinds of strange and marvelous things begin to happen as you really embrace and get a hold of the idea. Keep that in mind. This is John Canary, and I'd like you to go to a website, johncanary.com/CTC. There's an exciting, interesting video on that site that I think you will find most interesting in developing your idea for greatness. Thank you very much.
Homie's cooking. He's gonna hit a few more. Hit a few more.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Canary, and welcome to September. Yes, here we are in the very last quarter of the year. And it's a very special time of year because this is when everybody is taking a run for the roses to see if they can finish this year very strongly in this here last quarter. You know, keeping that in mind, there's an important word here that all of us love to talk about, all of us love to share, and it's the word success. And I want you to maybe just grab hold of an idea with respect to success, that there's one word that seems to connect this all-important word, success. And this one word, it is called action. And just as I get into this word here on action, let me share with you my little demonstrator here, which is called a sand timer or an hourglass. And I want you to look, as you'll see at the bottom where the sand is running through already, that's called the past. That's last year, that's last night, that's the last 3 quarters. It's everything that you have done to this point in time. And then you look at the top of the glass, that's the future. That's the sand that has not come through yet. And we don't know just how much of that sand that we have left. Nobody really knows. People seem to spend so much time in the past and a tremendous amount of time in the future, when the only time we do have is the sand that's running through the middle of the glass. That's right now. That's the present. And that's what I want you to think about going into this month of September, is like treat every single day as that most important day in your life, because it's going to determine your past and it's going to determine your future. Remember this, for every action, there is a reaction. So when you start taking action each and every day, which is going to determine your past and your future, remember the reactions you get may not be the ones that you want, but stop and study them. Stop and take a look at them. Stop and examine them to see what those things are trying to tell you. See, keep in mind that it's not what happens to us in life that's going to determine our past or our future. It's how we respond in the present to what's happening to us, the choices we make right now, today. So how about you? What are some of the best choices that you can make today to make such a difference? And whatever response you get, whatever reaction you get, you can choose to look for a better response, and that will make all the difference in our last quarter of 2016. I look forward to seeing you once a week on this program live with John Canary. Thank you. And
Maybe I'll get out of here. I think I'm gonna go take some action myself. You feel me? Might go take some action myself. Let's hit this one right here.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Canary, and welcome to 90 Seconds to Prosperity. You know, I was very blessed a number of years ago, as a matter of fact, while I was living in California, that every Sunday morning we would get up. There was a good number of us, myself, Bob Proctor, and people who had worked with us at that time. And we had the great pleasure of driving down to just north of San Diego. And we'd go into a theater, and there was a man speaking there by the name of Dr. Joseph Murphy. Joseph Murphy wrote the most powerful book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And by the way, wrote many, many more. And I thought what I was going to do, just to kind of put things out there, to get things working in the universe for those who want to kind of just reach out and get a hold of some of these ideas, is that I'm taking the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and every Sunday morning, I'm going to introduce different parts of that book in a 90-second presentation, hoping that you get a good grip on it. Let me give you an example of something that he talked about. He said, wealth is of the mind. And he said, when we really think about wealth being of the mind, he's talking about of the subconscious mind, that ultimately wealth is in the subconscious mind, but so is poverty in the subconscious mind. And one of the things that he talks so much about is that everybody on a conscious level has a good idea that it would be nice if they could develop wealth, develop success of every kind. But we need what is called the invisible support. You know, money is all around everybody. Riches and wealth are around everybody, but we need that invisible support. Like, for example, if you were to just take a good CD, just a decent CD or an MP3 that someone made, and you were to kind of use that every single morning for what I call 12 minutes, 12 minutes of education every single morning to start your day with a good, strong idea, and you can get it. It's almost free now, the things you can have on the internet and the things that you can learn. I know just a couple of months ago, I was listening to a former friend of mine and also a very top speaker in the world. He was talking about the entrance to the subconscious mind costs no money at all, but it does cost some discipline and things that you're going to put into it. So if you'd like to be a part of this program here, you need to register. And you'll see something at the bottom of the screen here when I'm finished on how you can get registered for this 90-second program that we're going to do every Sunday morning, so you can watch for it. And of course, it'll be available if you
Are you?
Hello everyone, and welcome to my 5-minute review of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I had just finished rereading this for the 3rd time now, and every time I read it, I find a new perspective on it. This book has similar concepts to The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but it's different. It's different in some ways. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is structured in a specific way, focused on yourself, independent, and then become interdependent. This one's kind of like, I don't know if they're necessarily in a specific order, but like even within the chapters, Napoleon Hill says, oh, we're talking about this, but you're going to learn more about this later in another chapter, kind of thing. Now, the main thing the main thing to know, think and grow rich. First of all, think is what this book is about. Uh, Grow Rich. Rich can mean money, and in a lot of instances, this book uses success stories of the real world, like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. What's his name? Not Bill Gates. I don't think he used Bill Gates. He may have used Bill Gates in this. Steven Spielberg, so on and so forth. This version, I should specify. This is the 21st century revision. So they kept the old stuff from the original publication. I never read the original publication, but they also added in stories that are more relevant to our time. So you get both kind of thing. And they're in italics. You'll see if you'll read it, if it's a story in italics, it's supposed to be something that's more relevant to our time. And they're based on like real people. So what this book is Napoleon Hill studied, I don't know, thousands of people who became rich and tried to see what they all had in common. And then he kind of gave this
Were they Jewish?
blueprint with this book of how to think and become rich. Thinking doesn't mean you just sit there and think about it all day, but your mind needs to be aligned for it to happen. Very similar ideas as manifestation and desire and passion and determination and positive attitude and subconscious mind. It's just going on and on. Transmuting sexual energy into productivity. He talks about what the 6 basic fears are. If I can find it quick, I'll do it. But if not, I only have 5 minutes. I can't find it right now. It's jam-packed, but it's in a very structured, very good way of presenting it. Every time I read this book, I go through this process, though. I read it, and I'm really into it in the first chunk. Then there's like this middle section that every time I read this book, that it's not that it's bad, it's good, and it's fine, but it just doesn't like really hit me like the rest of the book does. And then after that middle chunk of the book, then the last section of the book is like really, that's the one that resonates with me the most, because it really gets into the the possibilities. A big concept that I've taken away from this book is called the mastermind group. And the mastermind group in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is the same concept of interdependence. The mastermind group is, you can't do everything yourself. So you need experts on the various things that you need for a business or for success or for whatever. You can't be an expert on everything, because then you just don't have enough time to master everything. So that's one of the biggest concepts I took away from this book. This book, I want to say, okay, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that put me on the mindset of passive income. But this book was the first book that really put me on the path. I hadn't come across the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People yet. That book was really what made clarity for me. But this book was really made me start thinking literally, and not to be like ironic because it's Think and Grow Rich. It made me start thinking about a lot of things differently and really open my perspectives on things. It's not going to tell you the exact instructions, this is the business that you have to do. It's whatever business you want to do or whatever you want to do. It gives you just how to think about things, how to look at life, and it even says why people are not successful and not rich. And that's my 5 minutes. I'm going to give this book a 9 out of 10 because at times it can be dry. Not always, but overall though, it's perfect. Like, it's almost perfect. And what I mean by that is you need like I always say, the foundation of everything when you want to start something is you and yourself and your mindset. And this is the book that got me on that mindset from the first time that I read it over a year ago. Taking action and all that stuff is the next steps, but this is the mindset. You need to have the mindset first. And that's all I have to say on that. Read.
Hey, who's this black woman? Think and Grow Rich, a black choice?
Why did I?
What the fuck does he mean? Think and Grow Rich, a black choice? What does that mean?
Hi everyone. I want to thank you for.
Hi, sister. Band 2 knots. You got the torn denim. You got the torn denim button up. You feel me? You think it's 1992? I see you. Feel me? Feel me? But right before you turned this video on, you were talking about, I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak, I lose all control. And so it takes over me, and it's so amazing.
For making your way and spending some time with me here on SaronSays.com. Today we are reading, resourcing, and reviewing Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice.
Hold up, it's a whole different book. Dennis Kimbro and Napoleon Hill? Hold up, I didn't know about this, let's go.
By Dennis Kimbro and Napoleon Hill. So I first found out about this book when I was looking at list of books that I should read. Of course, Think and Grow Rich is a classic book from the 20th century written by Napoleon Hill, where he goes around the world and he interviews the richest people in the world, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, right? And he says, what is your secret to success? You know, how was it that you were able to overcome obstacles and really own 99% of the wealth in this country?
Death, destruction, manipulation, lies, poison, treason, espionage.
How did you do it, right? So this book is actually a spin of that book. So what Kimbro does is he takes Napoleon Hill's principles and the main values that he shares in the original Think and Grow Rich, and he puts a Black twist on it. So he now explains, what does it look like when you are Black and you are trying to achieve? What does it look like when you're a Black person in America, and how you need to think?
I don't know. That's going against what I have right here on the screen. You feel me? And as being Black and how great it is or whatever, you know, blackity black to black. I'm Black, y'all. I'm Black, y'all. The black, the back, the back, black. You feel me? We wear it on our skin literally, so it seems to be pretty prominent. But I agree with Canary. Don't allow circumstance to be a part of your thinking. And this is going against that principle. You feel me? This is going against that principle. And I don't know, nobody's talking in the chat, so you can hit the like button if you want, you know? Well, I'm at 150 push-ups. Well, I did like over 200 last time. Let's go over 200. You know what? I actually want to hear something right now. Nobody's talking in the chat, and I don't really care. So, and this is all about my personal development. You feel me? Me. You feel me? Let's I know nobody's even gonna understand this, but I love this song. Trade music. There's something just beautiful about like a nigga being able to get out of the feds, and then you're just up. You feel me? You teach yourself a skill. You teach other people the skill. Actually, I think Homie was live. Is he still live? I should have rocked out with Homie's live right now. He's live on IG, but you know I'm doing my thing. So I'm gonna let it play right now. And this is just, and I'm playing this because one, the song's hard. I like it. Has to do with what I am. Feel me? I am a successful trader, moving towards being greater than I am today. And this is just a great example of infinite possibility and or think and grow rich. Because how the fuck do you get out of prison and turn yourself into a successful trader? You know?
You know what's going on, man. Get the money, man. Stop playing, man.
Quit playing, man. No cap.
I got rich off MetaTrader, I ran it up, got hella paper. Been know why these niggas hating, I'm going up like escalators. I walk in the room and shit gon' move just like I decorated. Didn't know the numbers off my head, I had to estimate it. Hey, go ahead, give me all my flowers, but I can still smell them. Record longer than the yellow pages, I'm a real felon. With my screen blue, I feel better, I'm a pip catcher. We be in the field, you on the sidelines like a hip fracture. All the R by 1 to 3, I'm risking 5, I make 15. Slamming shit like Zach Levine, these pairs jumping like trampolines. You can take it all today, I make it shake like tambourines. Young nigga be lit, please do not put me by no gasoline. Popping entries after entries. Up in Florida off of Forex, took a withdrawal, bought a jet ski. Shorty said she knew that I was it the minute that she met me. Don't be saying I'm a dog, you on my side just like a pet bee. Force my way in, they ain't let me. Staying patient for my entries. I just made about 5K, I will not trade again till next week. I just took a trip to New York York, I was posted where the Mets be. Never been a stingy nigga, watch me split it like the Red Sea. I'm from the bottom like bikini. Ramen noodles was the meal, now we expensive fettuccine. I can take your bread and double it, I feel like I'm Houdini.
Alright, I'm back. Where we at? 180. Press ups down. You feel me? Definitely getting better with the number, like 30, sets of 30 are getting like easier. Really want to be at sets of 50. Really want to be at sets of 50. Sets of 30 is getting easier. You feel me? Look, we here now, right? Let the track right out.
Every day I keep that green on me, I feel like I'm zucchini. Call up TP on the phone and let them know I'm on the way. I need it on delay, these charts do what I tell them, Simon say. I don't got time today, I'm still making up all my time away. I'm on my grind today, the way I do it, I'm Big Sean today. I'm blowing back to back, the smoke up in my eye like cataracts. Them boys bandana rap, I swear you don't wanna hear that rat attack.
Yeah, it's just fire, you know. And I love how traders have their own genre of music. Like, you need to understand the language. You won't even know what he's talking about. And the thing is, you might think, this is some trapping ass drug dealing nigga, and he's pretending to trade. Nope. Just off the language, if you understood the language, you can understand he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Hold up. Where's my mouse at? Here. See? Since I'm hitting push-ups and all that, and doing something, see, this is how you can justify being on the internet, you know? But, I know my numbers are gonna do what they should be doing, because, you know, I'm not in here talking about a bitch or going crazy or any of that stuff I like to do, you know? Just being crazy. Hold up. Yeah, where should we go? I got that John Canary info. Yeah, I'm in mode right here. Let me find another John Canary joint or something. Give me a second. Who do I want to look up? Give me a second. This nigga got commercials on? Crazy, get your money.
Hey, it's that trader talk, man. Let's go booming in this bitch, nigga. Come on. Hey, I say I got up off my ass and learned the skill, I needed that. Don't be talking about no money around me, no.
Oh, let me wheel that shit back for the few people who might be listening to this or listen to it later. Let me pull this shit back. First line going crazy off this song. Man, I got up off my ass and learned the skill I needed at. Let's go.
Hey, it's that trader talk, man. Let's go booming in this bitch, nigga. Come on. Hey, I say I got up off my ass and learned the skill, I needed that. Don't be talking about no money around me, no, I'm keeping that. Every time I check my phone, it be another TP smack. Every time I check my phone, it be another TP smack. When I speak, I'm speaking facts, I think me and the green attached. Niggas think they beating us, so these niggas go beat the stats. I'm a trader, baby, I just paid your bills and made it back. I'm not lazy, baby, but my money
Think
come
about
when I
it
relax.
today. You know, there were 7.
Yeah, we back at the John Canary. You feel me? But it is what it is. I don't know, you know, we're uncommon. A lot of niggas are still on the Socrates shit. You niggas are still underground, chained to the cave, looking at the wall. You feel me? You can't understand shit like, I'm a trader, baby. I just paid the bills and made it back. I'm not lazy, baby, but my money come while I relax. Come on, let's go.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Canary, and welcome to Let's Think About It Today. You know, there are 7 basic guiding principles that I feel are very essential to living a productive, successful life. And that first principle that I'm going to share with you today, it comes from an interview of Napoleon Hill many years ago with a man by the name of William Penn Patrick. And this very first principle comes from him. He was a school teacher in Modesto, California at age 25. By the age of 32, He won the Horatio Alger Award and had a company with more than 200,000 people involved in it. Now, you would have to agree that that is a phenomenal change in a person's life to go from age 25 to 32 with this outstanding achievement. When Napoleon Hill sat down with this man and he asked him the question, he said, Mr. Patrick, what was the real unifying principle? What was the determining factor that made such a phenomenal change in your life? You know, he looked at Napoleon Hill and he said with a serious look, he said, it was the day that I absolutely decided that I would never again lie to myself. You think about that for a moment. Think about it today. Think about how often we say we're going to do something about our health when we get around to it. We're going to do something about our business life, maybe our relationships, maybe in our personal life. We're going to start going to the health club as soon as certain things begin to happen. You know, and I know, that we may not know everything we need to know to do something, but I think we can at least do the things that we already know to make that change or to lead us into making better decisions, better choices. So how about you? How many things maybe are you kidding yourself on? Oh, I'm not suggesting anybody is a liar, but I do think that we say things to ourselves to get by rather than to meet the challenge, and we just let it slide by. So how about you thinking about this today? And then next week when we sit down again, I'll take you through that second guiding principle next Monday. So this is John.
You know what? This is a good example of infinite possibility. I don't know why this is on my sidebar, but look. This
obsessed with you. I'm talking
like, look at homie right here, bro. You feel me? Hold up. Look at homie right here. Let me move you over, heavy titty. You feel me? Let me leave your titty on the screen though. You feel me? Look at this look at homie right here, man. I don't think this guy got another job either. You feel me? Which I don't know. I'm not in his. I don't know enough information about him like that. He could have another job, but I think he just might be an online like game player talking guy. You feel me? Look at this dude. This is a sign of you can do anything you want in life. Infinite possibility. You feel me?
head over heels, can't get enough of you type of obsessed. You have to give her something to earn. And I will show you exactly how to do that in this video, but first I have to give you a disclaimer. Because men are going to come to this video thinking I have to be an asshole for her to love me. Listen, wanting respect isn't about...
Is it pathetic that you get your bunny up, you feel me? You try to be right, have status, social connection, have a internet presence and shit. You feel me? Be in the gym, a decent car, all this shit. You feel me? Just so you could be online talking about how to get a hoe obsessed with you. It's fucking ridiculous. Who gives a fuck?
About being an asshole. It's about having a standard. Now that we've cleared that out of the way, if you are constantly by her...
These niggas that go crazy and kill their bitch because they be like, yo, bro, I took the steroids, I did all the workout, my hair, I did everything, I got a nice car, I improved, and now she won't meet my standards. Like the world is backwards, dog.
Her side, bending over backwards just to please her. You are not her man, you are her fan. Women don't fall in love with fans. You know what fans do? They send her money. Women fall in love with men who respect themselves enough to not kiss her ass. So here's how you do it. You stop bending over backwards for her.
I can't even, I was gonna try to make some jokes out of this. I can't even watch this shit. It's just disgusting to me.
Make her earn.
It's just disgusting to me. And this guy got a whole series of niggas online talking about how to be a player. Oh my god.
Yo, be honest with me. How do you get so many girls? I don't care about that. No, come on, please tell me. No, that's the secret. I'm telling you, I just don't care about them. I honestly kind of treat them poorly. What? What, like you abuse them or? No, okay, look. Girls will tell you that they want a gentleman, a nice guy.
This is comedy, dog. Oh my god, yo. Oh, let me get these niggas out of here. Can I add like not interested to this or something? Should I report this nigga? Yo. Yeah, let me end the show on a positive note. Why did I even do that? Why did I even do that? Oh my god, that man shit is horrible. Hey, you wanna know how you could have her obsessed with you? Hey, is it? You wanna hey, you don't want her just loving you, but you want her to be totally obsessed with you. Nigga, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Fucking bitch. A bitch being obsessed with you is fucking annoying anyways. That shit's just annoying. Bitch wanna live in a fantasy all the time, dog. You feel me? A bitch likes getting worked up. Like I can get worked up a couple times, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Either we fucking, or not. You feel me? I got other shit to do, wasting my energy and shit, being worked up. You feel me? So where we at with it? I've been fucking with this guy's videos. He dropped another one. Let me see if this nigga dropped another video.
Welcome.
Nah, nigga still editing. But, we just gonna be talking around here. As you can see, we've been on task, we've been in the lab. We got infinite notes. We got notes on notes on notes. You feel me? I really do this research shit. I really do this repetition to drive information into my subconscious to build a new reality off of. You feel me? I really do this shit. So, where we at? Where am I at? I want to go over here with it. Yeah. So I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna go do some other shit. Go over my how to read market structure notes section and do other things. You feel me? Take action. So yeah, this is disagreeable. I'm disagreeable. We're disagreeable. Do the YouTube thing and hit the things you're supposed to hit on the YouTube, and I'm